Head is in space, settling into the mat. And then just take a second and close your eyes. And take a longer, fuller, deeper inhalation. Notice how your body expands. And on the following exhale, we'll reach the arms up and over the head. And take a long, yawning stretch. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. And then when you're ready, hug your knees into your chest, circle the arms around, and we'll just start rocking from side to side. And as we're rocking from side to side, we're noticing how the body feels this morning, noticing how the hips might be feeling. Again, letting the head and the shoulders feel settled on the mat. And let's just start circling around our pelvis, as we often do. Just drawing a small little circle around your sacrum. A little moment to massage that lower aspect of the pelvis. And notice again the quality. Does it feel smooth? Does it feel bumpy back there? And if you find any sore spots, any of those interesting spots, you're welcome to hang out on them and just massage them out a little bit. And as long as it's feeling good throughout, let the circle get a little larger. So now we start circling towards the outer edges of the hips or the glutes, letting the arms maybe come down at the side so that the circle can grow bigger than the length of your arms, unless, of course, it feels uncomfortable, in which case keep supporting your legs. Do one more big circle. And the next time you come back through center, bring the knees back with the hands, or hands back to the knees. And now drawing a small circle in the opposite direction. Again, just that small little circle on the sacrum, on that flat bone back there, which may not be flat at all, may not feel flat at all. And then again, making the circle get a little bit larger. And if it feels right, let the arms come down at the side so that the circle can grow even more. And this is a really nice way to just wake up those lower abdominal tissues, because they're supporting the weight of your legs along with mobilizing through your hips and your spine a little bit. And last time. And the next time that you come through to your center, just go ahead and pause there. Put the hands back on the knees to inhale. And as you exhale, take your chin towards your chest, lift your head up, curl up, look at your feet, and then inhale and curl back down. Exhale, curl back up. Inhale, curl back down. Exhale, curl back up. Chin to the chest, looking inward, and curl back down. Last time. Exhale to curl up. Inhale to curl down. Bring the feet down onto the mat. Let's bring the ankles together. Interlace the hands behind your head and just relax the head into the hands. Heavy shoulders on the mat. We'll take both knees to one side, keeping the ankles together. Just take a big deep breath into your top ribs. And as you exhale, keep your legs where they are. Bring the right elbow close to your head. We're going to turn to the same side as the legs. Roll past the side. Let the elbow go towards the floor. Inhale, roll back open into our book opening. Heavy head, shoulders releasing. And then on your following inhale, bring the legs back to center. Stand the feet onto the mat. Ankles are together. Make sure that you're lined up. And then again, as you exhale, take the legs over to the other side. Once the legs arrive, just stay there for a second. Breathe into your top side. And as you exhale, bring that top elbow alongside of your head. Turn on to the side. Let the elbow go past you and towards the floor. And then again, rolling back open, looking up at the sky, and then drawing both legs back onto the mat. Inhale in the center. We'll do that once more. Exhaling, both legs to the side. Hang out when the legs drop for a breath. And as you feel ready, bring the elbow into the head to turn your whole body onto that side. Maybe go past it towards the floor. And then again, rolling the heart open to look up at the sky. Take a breath while you're there. And bring both legs up through center. Pause in the center, inhaling. Exhaling, taking both legs over to the other side. Pause there for a moment, inhale. And then exhaling, that left elbow coming in, turning onto the side to go past the side. Come back onto your spine, look up at the ceiling. Inhale and hold it there. Exhaling, standing both feet on the mat once more. And now we'll hug the right knee into the chest, interlace your hands on your right knee and stretch your left leg all the way out. Take a deep breath, and when you exhale, gently pull the right knee towards the right shoulder and make it feel like you want your left leg to slide out and away from you. And then release the feeling of stretching. Interlace the hands behind the right thigh, and this time push the thigh into the arm so that it straightens the arms. Hands are very much interlaced. Straighten the right leg up for the ceiling, and then bend the right knee, let the foot relax. And we'll just repeat this a few times. Straighten the leg up, and then bend the knee and release. And just notice how much tone there is, how much tension runs through the body as you straighten your right leg. And if it feels like it tightens up your bottom leg a whole lot, just be mindful that when you bend your knee and you come out of the stretch, you have that moment where it can release, and then notice it as you repeat. And we'll just do this 2 more times. Lengthening up and bending the knee. Last one. And now bring the knee in towards the chest. Your left hand is going to grab the top of your right foot. You want to feel like you're grabbing the sole of your foot across the pinky side of the foot. Inhale, start to straighten the leg up that way. The knee has to turn in towards you. And if you feel a stretch with the bent knee, then only go to that far. And then bend the knee, bring the heel down, and we'll keep repeating that. And the right hand can just kind of hold the knee and travel along with the leg, just kind of there for support, like moral support. It's not really doing anything. And you do want to feel, even if your leg isn't going all the way to straight, make it feel like your left hand is doing something for your right foot, which is pulling the sole of the foot open. Like really wrapping, when you bend your knee, wrap your fingertips around the sole of your foot so that you can peel open the sole of your foot. And we'll do this 2 more times. And last one. And then bending the knee, lengthen that leg all the way out. Just take a second to notice the difference between one side and the other, probably feeling a little heavier and longer through the right leg. And then exhale, bring the left knee into the chest, interlace the hands on the left knee. Gently tug the left knee towards the shoulder as you reach the right leg out and long. Just take a breath while you're here. And again, when you exhale, maybe you can go a little bit further, feeling like the back of the right thigh wants to slide down into the floor and away from your hip as the left knee is getting pulled up. And then we'll release that feeling. Interlace the hands behind the left thigh. Hands very much interlaced and the left thigh pressing into the hands. Inhale, straighten the left leg, and then bend the knee. And again, if you find that there's lots of tension through your system as you're straightening the leg, when you bend your knee, be mindful to let it go. And then just notice how we kind of move in and out of the tension, noticing the ebb and flow of your tissues. But there is no ebb and flow if there's no release. So be very mindful that when you come down, if there is a lot of tension right now, that you're giving the release priority. 2 more. And 1 more. And then you'll bring that left knee in a bit closer. Your right hand's going to grab the top of your left foot. Again, fingertips wrapping around the pinky side of the foot to the sole. Start to straighten the leg up. And if there's a big stretch with the bent knee, only go that far. Bend the knee and bring the foot towards the opposite hip. And then repeat that again. And the left hand can just follow along with the left knee, just kind of there, watching it move. You'll notice how your knee has to roll in towards your midline. And then when you bend your knee, your thigh turns out and your knee turns out towards the outer side. Allow all of that to happen. Notice the rolling through the hip socket, the rhythm through the thigh bone, and the way that you can pull on the pinky side of your foot. Even if you don't get to a straight leg, you can still speak to the foot with the hand and pull it open, the foot and the ankle. Last two. And last one. And the next time that leg comes down, stretch both of the legs out now. Notice the length. I see that someone just joined us. So if you just joined us and did one leg, do a little stretching on the other leg. Just bring it up and do a little bit of that. Inhale and reach the arms up over the head. Get really, really long. Take a long yawning stretch. Bring the feet together. Make it feel like your whole body gets narrow as it gets long. And then when you're ready again, hug the knees into the chest. Hook the hands behind the knees and just pull the feet up. Let the tailbone lift up. So just kind of rocking a little bit through your pelvis and through your legs. Back of the head stays heavy on the mat. And we're going to turn this into rocking all the way up to sitting. So when you're ready, your legs will push, your head will lift, and we'll rock up. Inhale at the top, and then exhale and just start to curl back through your pelvis, straighten the arms, and then inhale and roll back up. Just do these a few times. When you come up, let your knees turn out, let your spine feel like it wants to arch like in the cow. And as you exhale, your knees can roll in and you curl back like in the cat. Just notice the quality of the movement through your hip sockets. Notice the movement through your lower back and your spine. Notice your breath. Inhale as you come up and turn out. Exhale as you curl back through your sitting bones. Two more. And one more. And the next time that you come up to sitting, pause. Let's cross our legs now. And if it's available, flip over the tops of the feet. Come onto all fours. Otherwise, just come onto all fours in a comfortable way. Spread the fingertips apart. Notice that the knees are right under the hips, the shoulders right underneath the wrist. Inhale while you're here. Exhale, push back into child's pose. Sit on your feet, let your head release, and then stretch your arms out as far as they can go while still keeping your pelvis as low as it can go. Inhale here. Exhale, push down through the feet. We're going to float up onto the hands and knees, and then we're going to push back again into child's pose. Now we're just repeating this. Exhale to come up. Inhale to press back, or allow the breath to synchronize with the movement in the way that feels the most organic, the most effortless, the most intuitive. Notice how you're gliding through your hip sockets. Notice how we're gliding through the shoulders, and maybe feel or sense, try and sense the shoulder blades on the back of your body. When you sit back into child's pose this way, your shoulder blades are rotating outward away from each other. And when you come forward, they like roll back and into each other. We're going to make that a little more obvious. Coming back up onto the hands, and now keep your elbows straight and gently drop down into your arms. And you can feel where the shoulder blades come together, and then press up and push back and feel the contrast where now they're spreading away from each other, like wrapping around towards the armpits and sides of the body. Inhale to come up, gently drop down into the arms, shoulder blades together, press the floor away and sit back. And this way we just create a bigger range through the shoulder, warming up the deep tissues in the joint socket. Two more. And one more. And then sitting all the way back into your child's pose. Go as far back as you can and inhale. And then exhale, walk the hands a little bit closer to your head and lift your chest up. So your bottom is still on your heels, but we're up on our hands again. Take your left palm, turn it up, and slide it behind your right arm. You're going to turn until you get the left shoulder to go towards the floor. And if this is uncomfortable, to let your head drop down, if it's too much pressure in your head, you can put your other arm or make a fist or even use the bottom arm to try and support the head, okay? And just notice that now we're in a rotation along with the child's pose, or you can just keep the arms straight and breathe here. And exhale. The right hand, the long hand, if it is long, can kind of push the mat away to keep sending the pelvis towards the feet. And as you inhale, pretend you want to look up underneath your right arm. And it's like there's really nowhere for us to go, but just the intention of doing that may create a different sensation around your ribs. Take a deep inhale while you're in this shape. And exhale. One more breath. And on the following inhale, float back up onto hands and knees. Slide the hand out, bring it back into quadruped. And now this time, bring the right hand under your face. Inhale, reach the left arm out to the side. Turn to look towards the hand. And now thread your left arm behind your right arm. This time your shoulder and the side of your head will go on the floor where your right hand just was. And you want to make sure there's distance between the knees and the shoulder. The top arm can reach up towards the sky. And if it's too much pressure, just use the top arm to help support yourself. Otherwise, see if your top arm can slide around your lower back and maybe hook around. Try and find your left thigh with your right hand and breathe. Let your head release, let your shoulder release as much as comfortable, right? Because sometimes it's not really releasing, so to speak, but you are allowing yourself to fall into gravity just a little bit heavier. Take 2 or 3 more slower, fuller breaths. Relax the expression on your face. One more breath. And the next time that you're exhaling, release the top arm. Bring the right hand back onto the mat. Push back up into quadruped. Spread your fingertips apart. Now again, just start to rock forward and back. And notice if you can sense any differences between one side and the other. Right? Maybe especially around that shoulder. It might be super obvious. There's a lot more circulation now. There's a lot more flow in that left side of the shoulder. And you might even feel it through this left side of your rib cage. Last time, the next time that you push up into quadruped, stay there. Bring the knees a tiny bit closer together. And as you exhale, bring your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Let your left knee turn out to the side and look over towards the left side of the room. And then bring your knee back in and look over towards the right side. And as you look to the right, you bend your left knee. It's like your left knee goes forward and you look over towards your right foot. Push down through your left foot, turn towards the left, let the left leg turn out and look over that way. And just keep circling around yourself this way with your palms planted on the mat. And notice the pressure down through your feet and through your arms. Once more. And the next time that you're squared off with your mat, go ahead and stay there. Exhale, push down into your left hand. Send your tailbone down the back of your leg. Start to curl up to kneeling or on this lunge here. Come up tall. Put your hands on your hips. Inhale. And now as you exhale, glide forward through your opening the front of the back leg and then push down through the left leg and come back just to where you're tall. Exhale and go forward and then push back and come up. And just keep repeating that. I'm just going to scoot back a little bit. And I'm going to scoot you guys back a little bit. Open the room up. Okay. So Again, just rocking back and forth through the left foot in front, pushing with the left foot. And now reach the arms out to the side. We're going to go back and try and sit back as far as you can. And you can sit on your foot and then push down with that foot to float up as you lean forward. And if you feel like you need your hands to help you do this, use them. And also try and use your hands on your own body. So if you feel like you need the help of the arms, try and get the hands to help you by pushing into your legs rather than reaching down for the floor. And notice how, in order to leverage this, we really have to get the pressure from the floor. So especially when you're back here, you've got to press the top of the right shin and foot into the mat to help you come up, and then push the floor away with the left foot to help you come back. Just a couple more. Last one. And then we'll come all the way up. Inhale, get really long through the seams of your body. Bend your front knee, and when you exhale, make it feel like you want your tailbone to curl towards your left knee. Interlace your hands over your head. Send your knuckles to the sky. Lift up through your shoulders. Inhale and look up. Exhale, let your tailbone, let your pelvis move forward a bit, as long as it feels safe through your lower back, and keep pushing down into your left foot. Hold it for one more breath, really lengthening through the sides of the body. And as you exhale, push down through the left arm, bring the hands back down, both hands along the inside of the left foot. Now walk your hands to the right as you bring your left foot back. And now we're going to do a similar thing, just going from side to side this way. So bending the left knee and then moving over the knee to glide the hip. So one thigh is doing one thing and the other thigh is doing another thing. And take care of yourself. If it's too much range, just make the movement smaller. And breathe. Last two. And now we'll find our center. Slide your bottom foot a little further forward. You'll start to sit back behind your leg. Inhale here, reach the arms up tall. Exhale, take the hands back out in front of you, roll over the top of your foot, come back up. Do that a couple more times. Now, if it's tight and it's awkward, use your hands, walk around. Again, you might have to get really creative to get up and around your hip. If you feel good and like you're in charge of this, try doing it with your hands behind your head. Really working on the mobility and the strength of the legs in the hips. Remember, we talked about those longevity factors. These are like those exercises, those movements that really increase our quality of life and the length of our life, according to that study. Last one. Come all the way up, get really tall, and then again, bring the hands back down towards the floor. Shift your weight into your left foot, push down through your hands, tuck the toes of the back foot under, and bring the right foot now so that you're in this big sumo squat. And then again, here, we're gonna rock from side to side, just feeling out the hips, noticing how one side compares to the other. And then start to let yourself get a little bit lower where the opposite foot might flex and lift off the ground. Use your hands as you need to, and then do the other side. And again, be mindful that we're going to try and use the hands as little as possible, as much as necessary. We really want to give the message to the legs and the hips that it's their job to support and carry our torso and move our body through space. And breathe. One more to each side. And then the next time that you're on to the left, we're going to turn towards the right leg. And now bring the left knee to the mat. So we turn on the toes, walk the hands along the inside of the right foot. And here we are again on the other side. Send the tailbone down, curl up to standing on your legs this way. Get tall, and as you exhale, hinge forward, setting the weight into the front foot. Push back and just come up to stand tall at first. Exhale forward, push down through the right foot, and come back up. Notice what it feels like across the front of the back leg. Really noticing how pushing down through the front foot is what sends you back. And then pushing down to the front foot is like the front foot's like receiving the weight of the body as it goes forward. So you don't feel like you're just collapsing down. There's always that sense of like press down through your limbs. Keep that sense of integrity of lifting up out of gravity, even when the body's physically moving down towards the floor. One more, and now push up. Go past the center, lean back as far as it's comfortable, and if it's only comfortable to go a little bit of the way, only go a little bit of the way, and then go forward. If it's available, go all the way down where you sit. And so obviously there's a bunch of degrees of movement in there. Find the right angles for yourself so that you feel like you're successful, you're able to do it. Listen to your body, basically. Your body will tell you how far to go in the moment. And again, if you're using your hands, that's fine. Do what you've got to do. Just note that the goal is to use them less and less. And if you are using the hands to move this way, try and use them on yourself, on your thighs, rather than keep reaching down for the floor. Breathe. Last 3. Notice the texture of the movement. Are the repetitions different? You have some smooth ones and some not so smooth ones. Last time. And the next time you come up, stay there. Inhale, reach the arms back overhead. Hands in prayer this time. Hook the thumbs together. Bend the front knee. Keep pushing down through the front foot. Make it feel like as if you could tuck your tailbone under, which you physically can't, but the intention of doing that will probably give you a little more sensation across the front of the back leg and a little more length through the lower back. Inhale, pull the shoulders up to the ears, get really long, make it feel like you want to lift up out of your pelvis. Long exhale. Inhale here. Lift the heart a little higher. Keep pushing down through the front foot. Exhaling the air down with the hands. Bringing the hands along the inside of the right foot again. Turning to the left side now. Bringing your left foot behind you. Right leg stays turned out. And now again here, we're going to go from side to side. And go as far as is comfortable. Listen to your joints. Listen to your body. If it feels really tight, be kind. Approach it gently and slowly. Just a couple more. Last one. And then coming back over your left knee, bring your right knee along with your left and sit back into child's pose. Let everything release. Notice how it feels. And on the following inhale, send the tailbone down. We'll start to curl back up to sitting on the heels, sitting up tall. And now from here, we're going to sit to one side of our hips, to the right side. Let's take the legs out and around in front of us. And now just walk forward on your hips a little bit. Try and keep your knees straight. And it's a small movement. Try not to use your hands. And if it doesn't feel like there's a lot of glide or availability to move, that's okay. Just make it very small. And then scoot back. It's like you're taking a walk on your sitting bones, literally. And sometimes it's quite small, and that's okay. Do be mindful of trying to keep the knees straight so that the strategy is not flex the knee, lift the hip. It's more slide it back, once more, and then again, moving forward till we get back and centered on the mat. And if you're there already, you can pause. And then we'll line ourselves up on our sits bones. Take the right hand to the floor, bring the knees around. And now we're going to lie down on the right side. Interlace the hands behind the head here. And as we inhale, we'll roll open and look back to the sky. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let your body release. And then slowly coming back onto your side. We'll do that once more. Inhaling to open. Exhaling to come back onto the side. On the following inhale, prop yourself up onto your right elbow now. Coming onto the right elbow. Reach the left arm up and long. And now as you exhale, take your left forearm and just line it up with your right forearm. And so your body's turning. You're going to press down into your elbows and down into your feet. You can tuck your toes or use the top of your feet. Exhale, lift your pelvis up, bring the knees onto the mat. And again, sit back in child's pose for a moment. Keep your pelvis back on your heels. Lift your head and walk your hands in a little bit closer towards your body. This time, thread your right arm behind or under your left arm. Come down towards your left shoulder. Sorry, I've got this microphone thing is not going to let me turn. You're going to rest on the outside of your right shoulder here and on the outside of the head, right side of the head. And if that's not comfortable, use the bottom arm as a pillow for your head or use the left arm. Just figure out the way to be in a twisted child's pose. If the left arm is still over your head and that feels okay, push the floor away with the left hand to keep sending the pelvis back and just hang out here and breathe. Notice if you can sense where your body moves, how far the breath travels into the body. And hold it for one last breath. And on your following inhalation, push down through your feet, float back up onto your hands and knees. Again, square yourself off. Bring your left hand underneath your face now. Inhale, reach the right arm out to the side. Turn to look at the right hand. And then exhale and thread the right arm now behind the left arm. Come all the way down onto the shoulder and the side of your head. Inhale, reach the left arm up. If it's comfortable, right? If you need the left hand to support your weight there, then use it on the floor. Otherwise, thread it behind you now. See if your left hand can hook around and find the right thigh. And just hang out here and breathe. We want to reap the benefits of the circulation, of being in this inversion where the heart is over the head and the pelvis is over the heart. Relax the expression on your face. Inhale slowly and fully. Exhaling, releasing into the mat. 3 more slow, full breaths. Last breath. And then when you're ready, release the left arm. Bring the left hand back down onto the mat in front of your face. Push back up onto your hands and knees and just gently sitting back into child's pose one last time. Take a few breaths while you're in child's pose. Notice the way the breath feels. Let your shoulders release. If they don't feel like they're able to, take your hands down by your feet. That might be a little more comfortable for the shoulders. And then on your following breath, go ahead and slide the arms back up and over your head, floating now up onto your elbows. Elbows right underneath the shoulders. Let's bring the knees a little closer together and maybe walk them back a tiny bit. You can wrap the hands around the elbows so that you can see that your fingertips can grab your elbows. That usually will let you know that you've got a good base of support. The angles are in a good spot. And for a second, just collapse down and let your head drop down and notice what that feels like. And then press the floor away and start growing up. You still want your chin to be slightly tucked in so the back of your neck is staying long. As you exhale, reach your left leg out and behind you. Keep the toes on the floor at first, and then slide your left leg right under you. Alternate sides. Do this as like a checking in and as a way to build body awareness. So what you're noticing is that when you reach your leg out, your toes are dragging along the floor. And then when you bring your knee back in, the distance between your hip and the floor stayed the same. So you don't really have to alter the position of your pelvis to slide your knee back in under you, right? So it's like the distance between the hip and the ground doesn't change regardless of where the leg is in space. That's what you're checking in with. Notice that when your pelvis doesn't change, the weight doesn't change underneath your elbows very much. You keep that steady weight bearing underneath the shoulders, on the elbows, into the forearms. And now the next time that your left leg is reaching behind you, keep it there. Exhale, lift the left leg up and really reach it long. Push down through your elbows. We're going to bend the left knee. Make it feel like your left heel wants to push up to touch the ceiling. Be mindful, though, that there's still even weight under the elbows. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, look forward, look up, and then exhale, curl the chin in, bring the knee towards the nose, rounding the spine like the cat. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, reach the foot for the ceiling and the crown of the head for the ceiling as well. Exhale and curl it in. Keep going. And now as you're doing this, being mindful of how is that weight distribution through the elbows, through the shoulders. Be mindful of keeping it as steady and even as possible. And if there's more weight in one elbow, it should be the left elbow. So if your left leg is moving through space, you might feel that there's a little more weight in your left elbow. If it's in your right, shift it over. That means that your body's turning open to make space for the moving leg. We want to try and keep the body squared off so that we're really moving through the left hip socket and not rotating the spine, just flexing and extending. 3 more. Last one. And then you'll set your left knee back down on the mat, rest, and sit back into child's pose. Again, if it's comfortable to send your hands back towards your feet, do that to give your shoulders a rest. Notice if you feel a difference between the way your body folds on the left side versus the right side. Take one more breath here. Keep your forehead on the ground and try circling the arms back up over your head. If they're already overhead, try circling them down to the feet. Do that 2 more times. Last one. The next time the arms are reaching up over your head, keep them there. Hands, elbows on the mat. Exhale, push down through the feet, float back up onto the elbows. Again, walk the elbows out maybe a little bit, check back in. Can you grab them? Check in with your base. Shoulders wide away from the ears, the fist pushing into the ground. Maybe bring the knees a little closer together if they spread apart. And now as you exhale, slide your right leg behind you and then just bend the knee and bring it right back under your hip. Notice, do that one more time. Notice the distance and how it feels to keep your pelvis square. You know your pelvis is staying square as your leg is moving because you don't have to shift around to slide the knee into the mat, onto the mat. And now slide the leg back, pause, straight leg floats up, bend the knee, push the heel up towards the sky, roll the shoulders back, inhale, stick out your chest and look up. Exhaling from there, push through the elbows, chin to the chest, curl the spine, knee to the nose. Inhale, send it back. Exhale to curl. Really squeeze the air out. Try and get your knee to your nose energetically. And again here, keep moving. What's going on with the weight distribution under the elbows? If the right leg is moving, then the right elbow might have a little more weight, not the left elbow. Keep that feeling, especially when you're inhaling to look up, of the shoulders rolling away from your ears. Think of all the work we've done in swan. It's really that feeling of swan, shoulder blades gliding down the back of the body to lift the chest. Last 3. Last one. Exhale, curl it all the way in. And then slide the knees together. And again, sit back in child's pose and just rest. Rest wherever it feels best. And rock a little bit from side to side maybe. Do what feels good in your child's pose. And if child's pose isn't that good for you, as it's not for everyone, I know it wasn't for me when I first started, go ahead and lie on your stomach. And when you're ready, we're all going to lie on our stomach. So we'll just reach the arms out, float back up onto all fours, stretch the body out, flatten yourself out, bring your hands underneath your forehead, let your head rest on your hands, and just really flatten yourself out. Like stretch the legs, let the body open up with the floor. Notice the way the body's feeling. Does it feel long? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? And take a deep, full inhale. Notice where you expand. And as you exhale, gently press your pubic bone into the mat. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. They'll stay where they are, but it's like on the inside, you roll them down. Arms don't move. Float your right leg up off of the mat. Bring it down. Exhale and alternate legs. Notice that when you lift one leg up, your pelvis can push down into the ground maybe a little bit more, or you just feel the pressure a little bit more. So relative to your leg lifting up, your pelvis is dropping down, and sometimes it's not. So you want to be really mindful of your pubic bone pushing down as you lift your leg. Really keep the knees straight. Shoulders wide away from the ears. Just do this one more time on each leg. And I thought it's been a few weeks since we've done locust series, so why don't we do that today? And so the next time that the legs come down, pause, look up. You're going to rest your chin on the mat. So you bring your hands down at your sides, and it's like trying to open up the front of the throat with the mat. And if that's really uncomfortable, put your chin or your mouth on the mat, and then slip your hands, palms up, under the front of your thighs, and let the shoulders drop down towards the floor. Inhale while you're there. Exhale, let your body weight release into gravity. And on the following inhale, start lifting one leg up off of the mat, bring it down, alternate legs. Notice if the shoulders react to the legs moving. Try and stay mindful of telling the shoulders, hey, you guys just fall into the mat. Let my leg do the movement on its own. And with your tongue inside of your mouth, you're going to curl your tongue back so that the tip of your tongue slides back along the roof of your mouth, and you feel where your tongue reaches back towards the soft palate. The front of the roof of the mouth towards the front teeth is rough relative to the texture of the back palate, which is smooth. So you want to feel the tip of your tongue reaching towards the back of your throat. It curls in. You keep your chin on the mat and keep alternating through your legs. Do one more on each leg. If you feel like you need a break, turn your head to the side, let your body release. If you're surprisingly comfortable, you can keep going. We're going to lift both legs up and then bring both legs down. If you're taking a rest, just hang out, take a few breaths, and then when you're ready, come back into the shape. Remember to curl the tongue into the back of the throat, and then move through both of the legs at the same time. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Last 3. And the next time that the legs come down, they'll stay down. Turn your head to the side. You can unhook the hands under the legs and just let your body release and rest. Breathe. And just one last part for the sequence. Bring the chin back onto the mat, opening the front of the throat with the mat. Curl the tongue into the back of the throat. Slip the hands back underneath the front of the thighs. Now this time, bend your knees, flex your feet. Lift one leg up, feeling like your foot wants to push the floor or the ceiling rather up, and then bring it down and alternate. Do one more with each leg. Let your face soften. Keep the tongue curled back in the throat. Notice the way the front of the body rests into the mat. And the next time you're going to exhale and then inhale, lift both legs up and bring both legs down. It may not be a very large movement, and that's okay. Make it feel like you want your feet to push up through the ceiling. Notice your breathing pattern. Does it feel like it's helping you? If it doesn't, reverse the breathing pattern. So if you're inhaling to lift, try exhaling to lift. And just 3 more. And the next time that you come down, turn your head the other way, unhook your hands, and just rest. Taking a deep inhale and a slow exhale. And again, when you're ready, bring both hands underneath the forehead. Let the head get centered on the hands and roll your neck from side to side. Find your center, forehead centered on the hands. Slide the hands alongside of the chest now. Bring the legs a little closer together. Flatten the front of the body out. Push the pubic bone into the mat. Elbows reach back towards the feet. Start to float your chest up. Pause. Notice that you can lift your hands off of the mat and not much of anything changed. So you're very much standing on your lower ribs, pushing your pubic bone down, and then slide the arms out to the sides. Turn the thumbs up towards the ceiling. If it's feeling good, exhale, lift both of the legs up, pushing the pubic down into the mat, pubic bone down into the mat. Keep the legs together, roll the shoulders back, push the ribs and the pelvis into the ground a little bit further. Hold and breathe. Long back of your neck. Start sending the arms over your head, maybe just to a Y, maybe all the way over. You can look down at the floor. Take your left hand and your right arm down towards the floor. Bring them up and switch diagonals. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Lower down and up and down and up. Shoulders are wide, pelvis pressing down, back of the neck is long. Keep breathing, and now a little faster. Down, down, alternate, alternate, switch, breathe. Last 4 and 3 and 2 and rest. Slide the hands next to the chest, push up onto hands and knees, and again, sit back into child's pose. Let everything stretch out. Big, deep inhale while you're there. Long exhale. Notice the heat, the waves of energy in your back. And on the following inhale, float up onto hands and knees, and we'll just do a bit of cat-cow just to move those sensations around in the spine. So big open fingertips. Inhale, lift the crown of the head and the tailbone up. And then exhale, curl the pelvis under, straight arms rounding the spine to curl in. And follow your breath. The next time that you're inhaling and you're in the cow, looking up and sending your tailbone up, pause. Curl into the cat stretch from your pelvis. Send your sitting bones down, rounding the pelvis up behind the thighs, curling through the low back, and let the wave travel up through your head. Inhale from the heart. Roll the shoulders back, send your breastbone up. Tailbone can be the last thing that arches, and then the first thing that curls. So it feels like a wave traveling through your spine, especially on the curl. So you stick out your butt and now start from your tail. Really straight arms. Press the floor away. Last time. And then pause in the center. Walk the knees closer to your hands. Sit back on your feet. Come up to sit tall if that's painful. Stay forward. Just find a place where you can start coming up and just hold it and breathe. If you're comfortable at the top, we're just going to stay here for a moment. Let the arms dangle at your sides. Close your eyes and breathe. Notice the sensations through your body. Notice the space. As you inhale slowly and fully, you expand out and up and back and forward. And as you exhale, soften the skin around the space the inhale created. If you're in a lot of discomfort from sitting this way, just with your eyes closed, sit in a more comfortable position, maybe cross-legged or whatever feels more comfortable. If it's just a matter of things are getting a little numb or tingly or that kind of thing, just try and be patient. Focus on your breath. Allow the expression on the face to soften, relax through the jaw. Allow the breath to become involuntary. If you're still taking big breaths, just exhale and then just let the breath do its thing. And on the following inhale, we'll reach the arms up and over the head. Get really long through the seams of your body. Look up, stretch up through your fingers, reach all the way up, and then circle the arms down and around. Bring your hands to prayer. Thank yourself, bowing to yourself. Thank your body for so many things. And I thank you guys for being so flexible and jumping on YouTube with me. I've never done this before, so thank you for that. Another first in the books. And I hope that I can get the Zoom thing figured out. I will send you guys an email. And the cool thing is, if you want to come back and do this practice, it's going to live on this YouTube channel now. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I miss seeing your beautiful faces right now, but I know you're there. Mwah. Sending you lots of love and light. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Hasta mañana. Bye, guys.